S, Ramon, SEO. To the double T, befuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing now. It's plain to see. The bonus team is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported back rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
Final.
Hey, good morning to you and a pleasant good morning from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott. Welcome to the Morning Steam show for Saturday, August 31st. It might be the last day of the month, but it's the first day of the rest of our season. Let's talk college football today. We got a little taste of the weekend action on Thursday and Friday, but man, I don't know, it feels like this is still a dry run here with this schedule today, but still got to be pretty excited for all the matchups today. See some of them behind me right there, including top 25 action. So settle in, be with you here for about 90 minutes, try to give you the best picks we can. I don't know, can't top yesterday. I would think 16-5 on the, or what was 16-4? What was I here yesterday on the morning, Steve? 18-6. Oh, just 18-6 in the 24 picks that I gave out. Also, congratulations to Team Steam, 4-1 with the consensus plays. Just a terrific job yesterday on the show. Thanks also to the guys that came by yesterday to help us get those picks going. So, yeah, pretty strong day here, and we'll try to do it again here on the show today. And I'll just say hello to some of my friends in the chat as we get ready for the big day here. Can't wait. Here we're just 3 hours away from kickoff, and we got a big one, of course, to talk about with Clemson and Georgia and some other games. We'll just cover a handful of college football games. Actually, there's so many big spreads. Maybe we'll take your requests here on the show and see if you want me to look at some matchups for you. I've really just picked the best matchups of the kind of major conferences here. If you guys want to break down those 28-point spreads with those 56 totals, we can do a little of that. But I do want to talk about also some Major League Baseball today. If you don't have at least 50% chance of making the postseason, maybe 25%, whatever. You didn't make the cut today, so apologies to maybe apologies to the Mariners and the Angels, or some other teams too that probably didn't make the cut today. What else? A couple matchups that aren't going to make the show. Mets and White Sox probably aren't going to make it today. Athletics and Rangers not going to make it today. So, all right, let me say hello to some folks and appreciate you guys coming in today. Nate Cerna here today. Hello, Fernando. He had a big night here. We all did. I felt like yesterday. With some of our games. Certainly, we had some premium pick winners here on the show as well, or with our premium picks. We'll take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com. Lauren S., hello. Great to have you. Lando, 1, 2, 3. Jermaine's here today. And Dre is here as well. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Tony's Picks, here on YouTube, the 42,000 subscriber juggernaut. Check a look at my videos here today and the rest of the team here at Tony's Picks. I've got a video preview up right now of today's WNBA game, 3 Eastern and noon Pacific, between Connecticut and Washington. So, how'd everybody enjoy the WNBA last night? I think the Rookie of the Year race is over. 31 points from Caitlin Clark. Just a terrific to see right now. I mean, Indiana continuing to roll. They're on fire here, certainly. I mean, I don't know. You almost got to throw them up there with the with all those best teams right now, because they're definitely the ace is covered, by the way, breaking news. So, roll tide, says Kirk here today. All right, that's it from the chat. Just got 3 dozen of you in here right now. So let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and take a look at the standings from yesterday. We won't call them standings, but who's hot over at Tony'sPicks.com. I know, let me tell you, everybody crushed this board yesterday at Tony's Picks. Awesome day here for the Cappers. Take a look at the records here from the crew yesterday. Head on over to Tony's Picks right now and get involved with the premium pick selections from our handicappers. I mean, look at some of these here from yesterday. You got at the top of the list here, Mark Butterscotch Eubanks. Look at the record he puts up here, 9-0 yesterday for Butterscotch. Great job. Stephen Duncan, we had him on the show. He just went 11-3-1 on a Friday. Mindy Hahn, 10-1. Nick Lagaretos, 8-1. Ron Crawford, 80%. Ron Hahn. Ron Hahn there, 7-1. Bo Dunn, 5-1. CJ Sturgeon, 5-2. Tiffany Mance, 3-0. Jerry Lewis, 3-0. David Racy, 4-1. Joe Schultz, 3-1. Hollywood Sam, 3-1. Daniel Woloschuk, another day, another winner. OG Cappers VIP, 1-0. Brandon Checks, 1-0. Brian Bittler, there, 67%. Jonathan Solo Malone, 60%. Look, everybody's up there. Yesterday, I managed 2-2, and everyone's on the board there, probably but me. But hopefully, we made up for it with that 18-6 record yesterday here on the show. I don't know if we're supposed to tout that or not, but if you're keeping track at home, I certainly was with my pocketbook. And hey, did anybody catch me on on that live stream playing in a poker tournament last night? I made a final table and took home a little more cash yesterday. So yeah, I got caught up and got rivered when I was all in with a straight, but make it a flush. But that's okay. I thought we played pretty well. Tyrone Christopher's here. Michelangelo is showing us he's here today. Lamont. He hit a 9-team parlay, so everyone's rolling. How about it? Let's see if we got any more to say hi to. Otherwise, we'll just get ready to start the show here. Kirk's ready with his plays already, huh? Nate Cerna says take Georgia in the first quarter. I can't even get started. Lewis is here this morning as well. Appreciate you guys for coming in today. We've got a great show. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20%. 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Saturday. Right now, I do have a 5-pack of college football plays here to take a look at with my premium picks today. 5 plays for $35. My best plays up there right now at Tony'sPicks.com. Check out the handicapper leaderboards. Check out my records and then get signed up. Get my premium pick pass here. Also, you get the weekend, all my plays here. For 3 days, $99. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15%. But you get all my plays right here. They're all on the main board. These plays today. I think I'm going to be coming in with possibly a little bit of FCS action. It's a huge board, FCS versus FBS here today. But a lot of those lines just kind of late breaking here a little bit. Well, they've been up, but want to see some of these moves a little bit. Maybe we can get some real good value. So you want to get signed up with my 3-day pass there or longer if you want to make sure you get all that action. Yeah, you could come back and visit the website a couple times a day, but I expect to make some moves with those FBS, FCS games, but I haven't done so yet, just to the nature of those games, certainly. All right, let's get ready to roll with our show today. Look, I picked the best games. Some of them, in college football, we could go over them all, I guess, but I do want to keep it a little bit tight, a little bit focused, and maybe get out of here in 90 minutes to get you guys all ready for your big day as well in college football. So if you do have any requests, maybe at the end of the college football segment, we'll take a look at those games here. Mark Lee's ready to go with Bama in the first half. All right. Appreciate everyone coming in. We got 50 of you in here right now, so maybe it's a good time to get rolling and start with the action here today in college football. And might as well start with the biggest game, the biggest feature of the day here. with, everyone knows, the Clemson Tigers taking on the Georgia Bulldogs in this one. And a pretty awesome matchup here, at least to start. Maybe the only matchup worth checking out here. Total Georgia minus 12. And the total here is 48, for the Dogs. They've got a nice, set of returnees here. A little more than half the starters from last season. Georgia not really great in some of these roles right now. If you take a look at where their records are, 3-7 against the spread, their last 10 non-conference games, also 8-12 last 2 years as a favorite. Meanwhile, Clemson, they don't do too well when going outside of conference, just 11-18 against the spread outside of the ACC. They do well in these neutral site games, usually. They do have a 16-7 spread record. So Georgia Beck at quarterback, started them all, should be fine to go, I would think. But man, these teams, I probably looked to the defense a little bit at that number at 48. I know we saw some scoring a little bit, yesterday, but I think in our big featured matchup for me, I'm counting on the defense, quite frankly, here. Clemson, look, you're getting 2 touchdowns with a quarterback that returns, played all the starts there pretty much last season, right, with Klubnik. So Clemson also more starters returning, maybe a little bit even more veteran on the offensive line. The big discussion is how will coach adapt, right? He's the one that's kind of said, hey, we don't want to play that game. Now they have acquiesced a little. It's almost like a protest in a way, but it's pretty tough not to try to get some talent in there. You don't really know what Dabo's up to necessarily, but I still want to put a little bit of faith into Clemson. I hope it doesn't backfire. There could be a way they're, kind of like just building that culture, I guess is what they say nowadays, but just to have his type of players in there, right? He wants players who are going to stay, not go transfer portaling or anything like that. So the Bulldogs didn't really have a great preseason, off season. It looks like, they had some guys off the team. They had some guys with legal issues. So this is as big as an underdog as Clemson has been in about 10 years. So it's kind of hard for me to want to pass on them. I'm just going to take the under as my play here on the show. But man, 12 points. You don't get a Clemson team. Maybe they're at this point where, it's gonna backfire. Let me get the comments from the chat, and we're getting rolling here on the show. Thank you, everybody. So excited for college football today, and see a little bit of soccer talk in there right now. I was watching just before I came on the air here, a little bit of a scare here right now for Arsenal. They're going to end up in a tie with Brighton here. Also, I do like in the games coming up here, top of the hour, I do like Brentford over Southampton. That'll be my EPL. I do have an EPL game up right now at tonyspicks.com in that 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. group. 7 a.m. group. I just want to mention it right now if you want to pick it up for 25 over at tonyspicks.com in one of those games. But I'll give out a free pick here right now as well, and it's Brentford over Southampton in that game. I'd be interested in laying a half a goal, but I see some picks in there with Nate. So thank you, Nate. Thomas will start us off with Georgia. Here's Law Dog. He's with me. He likes the under in this one. Thomas will take the under as well. And let's see here. Good morning to Darren. Hello. And that's it, man. You guys not too interested here in the biggest game of the day. Maybe you just want to see a game here in college football from all the teams before you guys get rolling. My pick is going to be on the under here. I feel like this is a premium for me here, but I want to start off the show with a bang. I feel very strongly about this under at 48, and that's my call here right now. This game being played in Atlanta, so yeah, it will favor the Bulldogs a little bit, but the Tigers will have their crew as well. So, all right. Don't know if we want too deep there. There we go. We got Darren with Georgia and under. All right. Next up. And so that's the only, we're looking at these 3 9 o'clock games. And if you guys, again, you can chime in, but I don't know, we could just wait till the end, maybe a little bit, if you want to talk more in depth about some of those other games. Again, I just want to maybe stick with the blockbusters here today. Penn State and West Virginia here. Penn State, a favorite on the road. How about West Virginia? Everybody see old Pat McAfee give that money at the $1 million to the West Virginia NIL. It won't help them today necessarily, but hey, you got to like the, I don't know, West Virginia got a little bit of momentum here maybe. Last 2 years, West Virginia 6-1 against the spread in non-conference games. Penn State, though, they've been pretty much a spread juggernaut, 18-7-1 over the last 2 seasons. They've gone 21-5 straight up in those 2 seasons. Their quarterback started 13 games last year, Alar. They returned a little more than half the starters from last year. West Virginia had a good season, man. 9-4 last year. That pretty much was their best year in about 7 years. So Mountaineers returned a little bit more than half of their crew this season. They got a veteran offensive line as well, probably a better veteran offensive line than the Nittany Lions here actually in this one. So, all right, Penn State beat West Virginia last year 38-15. They covered the spread. They covered 20 points last year, and they had 332 yards passing. Last few years, the Big Ten's done pretty well against Big 12 and Big 12, Big 18. I don't know what to call these teams necessarily anymore, but teams like West Virginia in that Big 12 conference, 7-4 against the spread against the Big 10. So I'm gonna let me make sure I got it right here. Want to give out the right play? I'm on the Mountaineers here. Yep, plus 7.5. Here in this one. This line was as high as 10. It even opened at 12 really early on at some points. A lot of momentum here for West Virginia. Penn State, of course, expected to have a pretty strong season. We get it. But I'm going to have to take the Mountaineers in this one. You guys got anything in the chat? Let me know. I'll show it on the screen. This is what we do if this is your first time watching the morning steam. My name is Ramon Scott. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas. I just said that. I never say that, right? But we might have some new viewers today. I think Thomas might be on the under here. Darren is on the under here as well. I like this call, you guys. I should have, if I would have known here. Well, I'll just say it. I've already bet the under here, but I got it at 53. But, you guys don't want to hear that. But I would still support the under here, I think, in this one. I must say I did come in with a lot of, I was betting some games in the offseason. So, all right, Law Dog, I think he's saying West Virginia and under. And Jermaine says, what's different about they won by 20 last year and covered the spread? What's different this year? I think West Virginia is an improved lot. Quite frankly, I do think that there's talk that Franklin, is this a little bit of a pressure year for Franklin? So also West Virginia at home this time around. And well, anybody who's been to a Mountaineer game and you see that man shoot that musket off, you know what it's like in Morgantown. So I'm going to take West Virginia here, and I'm going to take it on the show with all due respect to what Jermaine's saying because, the spread isn't as high as that was, but I'm still going to take West Virginia here. I'm going to sprinkle the money line, actually, too, in this one. All right, gang. Appreciate everybody in the chat here today. We got another one coming up here right now. Hope these games are okay. Virginia Tech taking on Vandy. Look, we got to go with what we got. This is not a bad game. It's not great. Vandy's not great. We know that, but still on our card today, we're kind of picking the, those major conference games, I think is what it is. So, hey, let me tell you though, before we get into this one, I want to just see you come in the chat. Bring in my man, George Gonzalez from Tony'sPicks.com and say hello. I asked George to come by and give me a hand here with some of this card today. I'm glad you were able to come in here, brother. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining Tony's Picks. It's really an honor to have you as part of our staff here. you'll introduce yourself, but I will also take a little bit of liberty and say that Mr. Gonzalez has been around for a little while here doing this, just like I have, if I could say that with all due respect, George, and just appreciate you joining us as part of the team. You've been in this business for a long time, as have I. So just want to introduce you to everybody. You've only been on the site really for a few weeks, but you've been on plenty of the sites, if you know what I mean. Thank you, sir. Are we all working?
Absolutely, man. And thanks for having me on the show. It's been a while since I've done a live show, but I've done quite a few here in Las Vegas. Probably the luckiest handicapper in the world as far as my first break on radio was walking into the Stardust line, and it just happened to be a high school buddy was leaving the show. I went in and auditioned after actually failing a couple of shows trying to get on there just out of the blue. So got my lucky break, and to this day, it was the best job I ever had, really. We didn't get paid for coming on there, but we got free comps to the coffee shop. So,
man, I missed that show so much. Yeah. George, I don't know if it's almost unfair, right? The way go about things now, but I can remember being in my little apartment in my early 20s, recording the Stardust line on a souped up antenna. We lost, I'm sure you were a friend of Dave Kokins. And I just remember the best advice out of all the great winners that he gave me throughout the years. The best advice he ever gave me listening to the Stardust line, George, was when he told me to buy a souped up antenna, and he gave the place to get it, and you could get that show, and I'd record that show and listen to it. There wasn't a lot of, what we did. Remember, we would try to get newspapers from out of town. We'd buy all the newsletters, right? A Gold Sheet, Sports Reporter, Point Y. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And
not only just that, back in the day, it was a 50,000 watt antenna. So it would be from Vegas all the way back to Mississippi River. I was up in the mountains of setting up a hunting camp in Colorado mountains. You could hear it coming in and out. And, the reach is all over the West Coast. Still there, actually, the radio station itself. But it was in the old Union Plaza, in an old station with 8-track type. I don't even know what they were. Huge cassettes, they would put it in there. And, it was just amazing that it was so ahead of its time, and so many people could listen to the show. And, and definitely Dave Kokin was a great guy. And, the way he talked on the radio or the way he was in person. So, rest in peace to Dave. But it was a good team to be part of. And, they cover the morning show just like you do. So it's, people enjoy having those odds out early in the morning.
Yeah. 720 K-Don. If I could get that signal on my radio on 10 o'clock, I believe on, Saturday night. And the best, I love the Sunday night when we preview the following week of college football. That's what I would record, and then I would listen to it all week, 2 or 3 times, actually, getting all those details. Because you think about the handicappers nowadays, those were the legends on that show, and it brought back memories. You talk about auditioning for the show, George. I'll tell you my little story. We exchanged a message to get you on here, but I had just turned 21, wink, wink, and wrote a handwritten letter to Arnie Lang saying, "Hey, I'm a young handicapper. I want to come. I can hear the Stardust line." And Arnie reached out to me, called me, and said, "Come on to Las Vegas and invite." I only made one appearance on the Stardust line, but was pretty cool to be able to do that. I'll say 21 years old, George. I might have been 20 when I did it, but I was going to say that I wanted to be on the Stardust line. So what an honor to have you here. Hey, I just talked about the opening 2 games. I've only picked 8 games, and do you want to say anything about Clemson and Georgia today?
Yeah, I was listening to your handicap on that, and you got to catch up with the times, man. If you don't change with the times, you're done. So, I was reading a little bit about Debo saying he doesn't want to deal with the transfer. Well, he's going to get smoked. And maybe he won't in this point spread, but I would lay it with Georgia, because I'm going to tell you what. Georgia uses it, all the big schools use it, and Clemson's losing some of their talent to the portal, and then you just want to keep bringing guys in. I just don't get it. Now, it may be a motivational factor. 12 is just an ugly number. Would I lay Georgia -10? Absolutely. Look, they could have won the national championship last year. They may have been the best team last year. They only lost by 3 points to Alabama that stopped them from going to the national championship. So if you got to put that in perspective, I think they have the same crew out there. They're going to be fired up. They definitely got better athletes because they use the portal. Not just that, in where they've been. So Clemson's kind of stuck in the past, man. I mean, you can do that a little bit with basketball because you got 5 guys, but you can't, and you can play small ball and baseball, but you can't do that with football.
And they might be able to get away with a little bit in this conference too. But once you get with these big boys, especially with our 12-team playoff,
I mean, Clemson couldn't even dominate the ACC, and now they're going up against Georgia. I would lean. I'm a dog better. I definitely don't want to lay a lot of points, but I don't know if Clemson's at that tier anymore.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate that. And the next one, like I said, I only picked kind of the profile games again. If anybody in the chat wanted to talk about a 28-point spread with a 56 total, no problem. Those are actually the games where what handicappers do. But anything here with the Nittany Lions and WVU?
Yeah, definitely a lean with West Virginia. I'm with you on that one, and money line dog there a little bit, and then the points and the under. But West Virginia wants to play a control style of game. They definitely want to keep the Penn State offense off the field. But Penn State has struggled offensively and definitely against the top teams in the conference. But they got a new offensive coordinator in there who's going to want to try to pick up the pace and throw the ball around. And I don't know if that's West Virginia's a team to attempt to do that with. If it gets a little sloppy for them, if they're inefficient, it's going to give West Virginia a chance to win. They have a veteran quarterback who's extremely efficient, only 4 turnovers last year, 700 yards rushing. And that's a rivalry game, man. That's a neighborhood. So if West Virginia can pull off the defeat as one of the big matchup games of the day, I think the Mountaineers is going to be extremely fired up in this game.
Yeah, the market's been all over West Virginia. I'm not saying anything a lot of the sharps maybe weren't already talking about. But you're right. Green, pretty dynamic, not only with his arm, but also takes off running. It seems like at just the right time, and he probably will only get better. A lot of momentum in Morgantown. I just thought that was awesome, with McAfee yesterday firing him up. All right, let's continue on now because we see the chat kind of commenting on the next one. Hope these games are okay. I didn't go too deep into some of these. This might be about as borderline as it gets here with Vandy in this one. Look, they're still Vandy. So you got Virginia Tech here on the road laying 2 touchdowns.
Virginia Tech just hasn't been a high-scoring team since the Beamer days, man. It's kind of hard to look and say I'm going to lay 2 touchdowns with Virginia Tech. Granted, it is Vanderbilt. They've struggled a little bit. I don't have a lot of information on this game. I didn't dig too deep into it, especially trying to figure out some of these FCS teams. Trying to dig in a little bit more to get some inside info on that, or local, not inside info so much as local. Local info is always, extremely important, Raymond. I'd say the under on this one. I don't remember either one of them lighting up the board. And Virginia Tech's always going to have some decent athletes, man. So I would say, if you get a 49 under for sure, 48.5, I'm definitely always want to try to get the best position on a bet. Nothing worse than getting hooked in these kind of games. And you got to give it up to the odds makers, man. And we don't hear enough giving them some kudos. There's some weird matchups this week, and they've been awfully close on some of these totals, man. Again, I don't know how they do it. But losing by there's nothing worse than losing by a hook.
I'm with you on this one on the under. I think that I've seen a little bit of a public feel for the over in this one. Just maybe they're thinking of because Vandy is so bad. But I agree with you. Virginia Tech maybe stuck in the mud a little bit, but they got an easy one. It feels like maybe they got an easy one here with. Taking on Vandy on the road. I wonder, did Vandy fix I don't even know if they got that stadium refurbishment done for this season or not. So I'm going to check into that actually. All right. Oh, let me get the chat too, brother. Let me see what they did in this one. I see already. Let me see here. Thomas was on the over in this one. Let me see how far I got to go back here. Well, that's what we do here on the show is kind of feature the chat a little bit. They're nice enough to join me. Nathan on Vandy here. Thomas maybe. He said over on that one as well. And let's see. There's Stephen Duncan. Yeah, Stephen, you want to join us for the baseball? We'll go over some baseball here at the end of this. Couple other plays from the group here in the chat. I just want to feature those a little bit. And of course, our feature here with my Steam. I got the Don Best screen up. George, what I like to do is just a Steam comes across. I usually just read it off. That way, any of our fans that are listening or are interested in the game, it doesn't mean we're playing them, but that means the game is on the move. You know what I'm talking about. But Indiana State and Purdue, you talk about that FCS, FBS matchup. This one getting steamed to the under. It was 50, and that's going to head south of 7 touchdowns right now. Indiana State, Purdue is moving here on the under right now. Okay, just seeing some of the other plays from the chat. I think I got him a little bit off target when we got wrapping a little bit. So let's just pick up the action, I think, with our net. Oh, I'm with you, George. I'm on the under there in my official play here on the show. All right.
Yeah, I like Daniel's pick on Fresno State plus 21.5.
Let's do it.
Being on the West Coast, man, there's something about the Bulldogs. Sorry if you see a dog jump up on my screen. I have a pup, and
nice.
He's 25 pounds, but he's 65 pounds. He may come flying at me while I'm sitting here.
You know what Tony T says? If he barks at the right time, you know what to do. Yeah. Go ahead. I got the graphic up there for you with the Bulldogs and the Wolverines.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, the guys, there's a mystique about them. Michigan, I said, I called it before it happened. I said, they're going to give this guy a mulligan. They're going to let him play the championship game. They're going to banish him. He's done. He had to go to the pros. And again, back to the Tarkanian days, I hate the NCAA. They're all about their pockets and their TV contracts, and they let that happen. So I think they have a little bit of a black cloud over them, if you will, I think this season, and everyone's going to take their best shot at them. I definitely like that play, Fresno State plus 21.5.
Absolutely. And look, 46, that looks low, but I wouldn't be surprised, George, if this one is actually maybe kind of more grinded out than we might expect. I'm going to end up on the under here. You know what that means and which side I'm on here, I think, in this one, because I have concerns as well. I'm a Chargers fan, so I'm pretty pleased. I was shocked when Harbaugh took the job because I wouldn't want to work for those guys, but you know what? He's got just enough ego that he might be able to boss them around a little bit, and they'll just say, yes, sir, and maybe he could do something with the Chargers because he's got a lot to overcome. But yeah, I mean, a maker of men. That's what this guy is, as far as I'm concerned. So I do think that Michigan will be on the tail swing here a little bit after Harbaugh leaving. So
if there are any money lines out there on it, put a little on it. Fresno State's the kind of team over the years that'll pull an upset off. They'll play any big team that wants to come to their stadium, or they can play there. So definitely a lot of fun to watch. I wouldn't doubt if they're in it all the way to the end.
No doubt about it. I've mentioned I'm from San Diego originally, so I've had my experiences certainly with the Bulldogs over the years, playing for the old Oriole. We play for the old oil can in that series, a perpetual trophy. Let's see if anybody's got any picks here with Fresno State and Michigan. Trap God, good morning. Hello. You guys are welcome to comment on other games. I know we have a huge board today. So Jermaine, he's got to play on a previous game. Not quite as organized as what we do when we just go through the baseball card, but I don't mind, gang. Just put your plays in the chat. Want to say hello to first-time poster here, Kurelia Moore. He likes Penn State today. All right. He said, do you? I think we were maybe not so hot on him, but going to give them some. Look, they hired those. They went out and they made some moves to get some top coordinators. Maybe that's what was missing from Penn State. We'll see. Trap God also on UConn here. I don't think I had that one in the preview against Maryland. I'll leave those 9:00 games a little bit. Kent and Penn State, Kent and Pitt, Connecticut and Maryland. Anything, George? Otherwise, I'll
pass on that one. I don't have a play on every game.
All right, much talked about here, the Bruins and Hawaii. What happened last week? Maybe people are going to just cast that aside. They might still want to come with the bows here in this one. I certainly think that UCLA might have done a better job with their hire. I'm major concerns here. I was speaking this week that I think that this whole scheme, if you will, with the conferences could break down in a just a couple of years, and we might see some of the West teams. I don't know if the Trojans will do it, but the Bruins might need to come back and get involved with some of these weaker West Coast teams. Just have major concerns here. They're still going to lay 2 touchdowns at Hawaii.
Raymond, I'm sorry, I'm going to politely disagree. I don't buy that. Have you ever walked on UCLA's campus? You know how much money they have? You got to remember, man.
But are they working on their NIL? I'm concerned there.
Well, that I don't have exact information on. I hear you. But they're getting to a bigger conference. There's more TV money hanging out there than there was at Pac-12. Even like BYU, buddy of mine's diehard BYU, sends me stuff all the time. I told him, I go, you know what? It's going to take a couple of years. But they're going to do it. They're going to start spending some money like they did in college basketball with that big player, I think, from Spain or Russia, or to play the Spanish league. I wish I had his name. I don't, guys. But it's just an example. Even a religious school, finally saying, hey, we're in the Big 12. We're in the Big 10. We got to play. So if they don't, Raymond, I'll agree with you 100%, but it's still a prestigious campus, man. I mean, when you're a Big 4 school and you got a Big 4 budget, you're going to compete. That being said, Hawaii is Hawaii, man. They go there. It's vacation time. They're playing a game later in the day. They did some traveling. It's always hard to lay points with any team going into Hawaii, and it's always that late game at the end. So, especially if you can get a hook thrown on there, that would be great.
I'm going to be on the under here in this one with UCLA and Hawaii. I think right now, let me take a look at that. I think we're still hanging out in the 52 range here. I'm seeing some movement right now. Notre Dame and Texas A&M. We're going to get to that one in just a moment. But look like that total's being hit a little bit here as we speak. So maybe I'll just keep it moving. Yeah, this one right now, Bruins 14, 52.5. My play will be on the under here on the morning steam. All right, Trap God says take Hawaii plus 14. Hey, MT, my buddy, is in the chat. They have so much money, yet they can't win. They can't recruit stick academics. It looks, it doesn't seem right if UCLA is kind of down. So I'll give them a chance.
Hey, but remember, you don't got to win. You just got to cover. If the popular opinion is they can't play football, those point spreads will keep going up.
Should the coach of the year just be the one with the best spread record? I think so.
For us, absolutely. We don't care who wins. We just want to win on our bets. Hey, a quick shout out to Tony T, by the way. Back when he started out his career, even before the website, he was my website design guy. So I've got over 10 years, of a friendship with him. We hadn't touched base too much in the last few years because I was out of the business. But he did my websites back in the day when he first started up. So much kudos to him, what he's built, what he's done. And God, no one works harder than he does at putting up the video and the content up there. So definitely a big shout out to Tony.
He is no joke. And I know people, watch Tony and maybe they've only watched him once the YouTube cappings kind of come along over the last, I'll say 10 years, but really it's only heated up with the PASPA stuff and the real proliferation over the last 5 years or so. But you could go back and find videos where Tony's, 13, 14 years ago with green screens and guests and everything. It's no joke, man. Tony's been doing it that long and a pioneer in this. Not to mention all of the stuff that he did with the TV work, prior to all this, but really just a pioneer in this type of space. So, all right, Daniel went over in the Hawaii game here, and let me move on. Let's get to the other marquee matchup, the mid-afternoon matchup, late afternoon matchup here with Miami and Florida. Much talked about here in this one. I don't know. Is there a list of schools that are spending the most money on NILs, George? This might be it, right?
Miami's always been spending the money on it. And NIL don't mean nothing to Miami. Canes have been spending money. All these schools. Look, I've been around the AAU basketball circuit, and Thomas is absolutely right. UCLA is a basketball school. At the end of the day, whatever sport's dominant is dominant there, and they'll spend their money and try to win there. So that's 100% true. No matter how well a football team plays, it's going to be the stepbrother or stepsister. But this game, Miami at Florida, look, I'm a diehard Hurricane fan. I love them outside of UNLV. But until they win, I'm not, all they've done is really underperformed, and they've had talent, after talent. A lot of players come out of Vegas have gone to play for them down in Miami, thinking they're actually going to dominate. But there's no way, as much as a fan that I am, I take Florida, man. And, money line too, obviously. Miami hasn't been able to put up a lot of points, and now they'll play good D in these rivalry games. And this is a big rivalry game for them. Even though they're in different conferences, they're going to be hard-hitting. It might be the funnest game to watch all week for sure, because they're going to go at it. But definitely be on Florida here, money line.
And I don't know, at 54, I'm going to take a look at that. I might be on another under here, actually. George, maybe just the first week for me, then I'm just feeling maybe, if your numbers are off on every one, well, you got to adjust, but I'm not going to at this point on week one. I apologize to everybody also if I kind of went out of time order. First week of the season, maybe I got a little discombobulated. This one at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Yeah, we're looking at 54s across the board here right now. So my play will be on the under, but I've already grabbed a little floor. Uh-oh, there's a dog barking. Let's take it. The Gators here. I'll take under as my play. I think George said lean to that Florida Gators today. All right. And anything in the chat here in this one? Trap God says Florida doesn't lose home openers. Thomas is on Florida as well. All right. I was hoping we'd get a little bit more contributions from everyone when it comes. You got it? Did he come on?
Yeah, he's on Florida too. He came on. Come on.
Yeah, let's see.
He's a good boy.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of green screen. Oh, boy. Yeah, he is a biggie.
Oh, yeah. No, he's 65 pounds. He's a big boy.
Okay.
Go place.
I'm going to write that down. Florida. Okay, he might be 1-0. We might go on. If he goes 1-0.
Money line. If he jumps up on the screen, it's money line.
So looking forward to this one. I that's why I said, I think I said it right anyways, our midday feature here in this one with the Hurricanes. I mean, they got not only paying money, but they returned practically their entire offense. Not great as a road favorite, certainly Miami over the years, but Cristobal is 15-11 ATS as a road favorite. And Florida, though, they've been a money burner, no doubt, last 3 seasons, 14-23 against the spread. But Napier, 18-7 against the spread as a dog and 5-2 against the spread at home. And the Gators 5-2 as a home dog. Not very often. That's about a once a year, but nonetheless, maybe this might be the spot. Okay, thanks, guys. Jermaine talking about one of these, he likes Ohio State to roll in their matchup today by 50 burger here, it looks like. All right. And probably the late night feature here, I would guess, with Notre Dame. And we're going to go through this again. George, if you calculate it out, Notre Dame, they'll be undefeated when it comes, when it comes time to go to the playoff with the way they've arranged things here. But, they're always ripe for a loss. Here, this is going to be about as tough as it gets, I would guess, early on.
Yeah, tough one to call here. Texas A&M going with some changes. Obviously, they're in the SEC, though. Again, it's, you're a money school. You're in a big conference. You got TV money. I know I harp on that a little bit, but it's like you really got to figure out where these guys are, man, and how big the program is. That being said, Notre Dame's been pretty solid. They just, choke on the very big games. Is this a big game for them? Probably not, so they'll probably play a little bit better. I think it'll be a good athletic game on both sides of the ball. A lean to the under.
Yeah, under is my official morning's team play here. I guess I'm just taking a lot of unders, but look, Notre Dame, we think of them as the public team. That's maybe not for seasoned gamblers necessarily, but you think of, hey, I never get the right value with Notre Dame there. 25-13 against the spread the last 3 seasons for Notre Dame. Maybe they've been in some situations where they've played some weak sisters, certainly, and maybe run up the score a little bit. But they've got to rebuild that offensive line. Leonard comes in from Duke there, so they've got a pretty seasoned quarterback who knows how to sling it. Last 10 years, Notre Dame 13-6 against the spread as a dog. They don't get that opportunity too often. Also 19-8 last 27 road games, 19-8 against the spread. So A&M, though, pretty good home favorite. And we'll see how they do with Elko there. He was always great at Duke at home, but a little bit different situation here for sure. All right, let's see if the chat's got anything here with the Irish. Thomas is on Notre Dame. Nate's laying 25 with the Iowa Hawkeyes today. Thomas also going under here. Wow, you guys. Maybe we got to get rolling in football before anybody. George, I don't know if you've seen the show. We've been talking this week a little bit, in baseball, and I'm sure we'll see it here in a few minutes. We get plenty of picks in baseball, and I'm not sure what's going on with the chat. We got 100 of you here on the show in the watching right now, so let's see some picks. All right, late night. We can go back, George. This is going to be the last game that I've put up on the graphics, but if you've got any other plays, we can pass them along or go over the game here after this. I've taken a look here at Wyoming taking on Arizona State. You and I are here out west, so I don't know if you looked at this one.
Arizona State's just been underachieving for quite some time, so kind of hard to even look at them and lay a touchdown. Wyoming's been a great dog team. They really have over the years. Every time you think they don't have a chance, so they're going to go blowing out. I think it was last year they went down and gave Texas a bit of a fit. They got nothing out there. There's nothing to Laramie, guys. There's University of Wyoming and nothing else. So it's they have a little mystique about them as one of those Mountain West Conference teams that can cover his dogs. Is Arizona State really focused on Wyoming, being that they got the Big 12 coming up? I think they may be looking a little ahead to that. Wyoming would be a great live dog. Lean, anyways.
Yeah, I'll take him here on the show. And, with this early card and this one, I don't play too many parlays. I might have just stuck them in there on a little money line parlay with Wyoming on the road and take the points here. It feels like in this one all the way up to 7. I believe this one's been just slightly on the move here this week. Yeah, maybe just a point and a half or so, right, as far as the market's concerned this week. All right, George, that's all I've really touched on here today in college football. Do you have anything? First, maybe we could just take a moment to tell us what you have. We'll talk a little baseball and see if Stephen Duncan wants to join us here. But do you want to talk about any other college games? And also, what do you have today at Tony'sPicks.com?
I've got to jump off here after football so I can get my stuff up. I've been doing some pretty well on totals lately. I kind of like to focus on what I got going on. I'm not going to be a high volume, handicapper putting plays out all over the place. But I am a dog better and money line better, pretty much with the rest of the guys out there. So just getting my feet wet again here on the website and how everything goes. So I definitely will have some plays up. Like I said, I'm going to jump off here. We got, a big game here, LSU and USC, coming in. And, both quarterbacks, are playing in the NFL. And that means a lot. Let me tell you something I don't value, and I had to correct myself when we saw it happen at Georgia Tech. Just because a guy's bounced around in the NIL and he's got starts for other school, you still got to have chemistry. It doesn't matter if you played somewhere else, because Georgia Tech, proved that they had some guys coming back, some rhythm. They knew how to play, a new defensive coordinator. Next thing you know, they upset Florida State, right? Florida State was supposed to be in the bowl games, but they lost a bunch of players. So when you look at that, hey, USC is going to have a decent team. LSU is probably going to have a really good team. But they both have new quarterbacks. Definitely taking the under in that big game here in Vegas.
And speaking of Vegas, George, you want to talk about the Rebs here? Man, what a year last year. I mean, granted, they lost those last games, but the 9-2 start, the momentum's all good. I really feel, and you probably have a better feel for it. I've only been here for about 2.5 years now. I think being able to play in Allegiant is an attraction, something that they've missed certainly at the other venue previously that may have hurt a little bit of recruits coming in or kids staying here. We've obviously got a pretty good program. I follow high school football intently. Even though I'm here in Vegas, I still cover Friday Night Lights in my old neighborhood because I did it for 35 years. I sit here with the games on and write stories about them, but I'm following the big schools out here. I'm just down the street, obviously, from Gorman. So what do you think today? The Rebels on the road, feels like watching the news cycle here in town, we might go in there and get this one, man. Coming off of a bowl game, certainly, and a lot of momentum here for the Rebels.
Barry Odom has done nothing but outperform any expectation that's been put on him. Even though Vanderbilt was a horrible team last year, that big win for them coming in to Las Vegas and beating an SEC team meant a lot. Let me tell you something, what Barry Odom did when he got to town. He didn't go to Gorman just to talk to them and about their players. He went around and talked to all the high school coaches, and made it a point to try to keep some of the star players here. And he's just done nothing but a good job. But again, fundamental, diehard Rebel fan. I'll be watching it. It's a big game for them to win. They have a tough schedule, and they want to win the Mountain West Conference. So they got to go in and beat a Houston team that's in the Big 12. But you know what? They don't have a starting quarterback. They haven't even announced who the starting quarterback is.
They brought 2 AA kids in. What's going on?
No. They both got a ton of experience. But the reality is which one's going to start, they haven't even said. Even Frio, who's been there, it's won some games. I mean, the kid can throw too. So the Rebels are going to be fun to watch. And back to your point about Allegiant Stadium, guys, it doesn't matter who plays there. It's an exciting game. The Rebels have been fun to watch ever since they went there. The Raider games, as bad as the Raiders are, some of those games have been phenomenal.
Hey, I said that even Davis can't screw this up. They should be able to get some kind of momentum here eventually.
And look at the 49ers. Raiders preseason game. Even guys who aren't going to play in the league have this exciting game coming down the end. So there is some mystique about Allegiant that no matter who plays there, it's going to be a fun game to watch. So, it is a big plus. You hit the nail on the head. Plus, Fertitta's donated that football facility that they have over there. So we're bringing in some talent. It's fun to watch. Definitely a big game for them. I'm just going to watch it as a fan. If anything, I'd take Houston, to be honest with you. If I had to make a bet on
Oklahoma next week, but they
are great point.
Fritz is great. Fritz is a great coach, but they've struggled as this program has struggled as a favorite at home, 3-9 against spread last 12. But they have a lot of veterans return. They brought in a lot of offensive linemen, really. So that's probably their strength, and they're maybe a deserved favorite, but man, I don't know. I might have to play the Rams.
It'll be a fun game to watch. That's for sure. I think there'll be plenty of points. If anything, if I would take on the game is the over.
Okay, well, get your packages up there and get ready for a big day. And you're invited, brother. Sounds like you want to get back involved in doing this type of stuff. So I'm here every day. You're welcome to join me. I really appreciate it. Sounds like we have a lot to talk about on our shows. A lot in common. I'll tell you one kid, I don't know if you followed this kid. I know you're in the prep scene here, but down in my area, I just want to mention him because he looks like he might be something. One kid left Las Vegas to go to one of my teams that really has just been a mediocre high school program with over the last 25 years. They got a new coach. They brought in a bunch of guys, and they got a transfer quarterback, AJ Stowers, from here in Las Vegas. Is only a junior, and he's lighting it up down there at Mount Miguel High School. So he would have been one. I don't know what his prospects are. The rest of the team actually has a higher ceiling than he does. But when you got all that talent, they got all this Division I talent that they've never had before because they've got one of those one of those coaches that runs a year-round program. It just makes a huge difference nowadays in high school ball when you got someone dedicated like that. There's people that just show up at work now, and there's guys who live it, and that's a big difference in high school ball.
Yeah, and we got the number one team in the country, man. They look like a college team on ESPN going down by 11 points and then winning. I was just impressed, and I'm good friends with Grant Rice, who's the basketball coach and the athletic director over there. So, a lot of people in town don't like Gorman because they say it's the private school and all that. But I will say one thing on this is, hey, they've brought a lot of national attention to the city for football and basketball. And when those scouts show up and the team that's playing Gorman, those kids get some eyeballs on them too. They would have never even had a chance to end up in some of the teams they do. So even though they may get beat up in that game, they have a chance to play in front of some scouts. And I think that's really increased the whole level of high school athletics out here. We're not on California's level, but we're a lot better, and we can put teams that can compete with them, which in the past was unheard of. So high school sports is a lot of fun here.
No doubt about it. And I always make the argument, and there's still people that say, hey, you should play where you are growing up, where your community is. You can't do that anymore. You cannot hold back young men and women from achieving their dreams and goals if they're stuck, I'm sorry, at a school that maybe just doesn't have the right resources because of socioeconomics. We wish it was all perfect, but you got to give everyone opportunities. And if they can get to a school, enroll, and be at school every day, I think that's important.
Raymond, I just want to give a big shout out to you. You do a great job. You're up here every single morning. You have a bunch of great followers. They put out a bunch of plays, and you have a lot of good interaction with them. So I've been popping on here and there and watching it. So you guys do a great job, and I look forward to coming back on again.
Hopefully that's part of the attraction. And like I said, you want to get back involved? We're reeling you in, brother. Right. Thanks a lot, and good luck today. And
good luck, everybody.
Just hit me up again. We'll keep sending you that link. You pick the times. I think everyone would like to have you. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Good luck. All right. George Gonzalez here on the Morning Steam, and that was awesome, wasn't it? And hey, hello, this is the way it should be. Hey now, Stephen Duncan. Anybody in the chat want to talk a little more college football? Maybe we could do so, but if I bring in Stephen Duncan, we're going to go right to our Major League Baseball card today, if that's okay. I don't know if you had any NFL picks. Maybe you picked your timing here to go over the baseball card today. Steve, I will tell you this, Stephen, I only picked 11 games because I'm starting to get to that point where if you don't have at least a 25% chance of getting in, we're just going to skip you.
Okay.
If you want to talk about one of the 4 games I skipped, no problem. Just didn't make the graphic for it because I just was concerned about how long the show might go. So I'm just starting it, though, at the top of the card if you're ready to roll with the baseball card. And, of course, you got to start with this one because you got 2 team. Well, you got the Yankees here certainly feeling the pressure of the pennant race right now. Cardinals are a little bit up against it, certainly, but they could play spoiler. They could still get hot here, obviously. You got Warren on the mound here for the Yankees going up against Gibson of the Cards, $1.75, 9.5.
I'm going over here. I don't trust either one of these pitchers. And the Yankees bats have been going really well. Gibson has got just an outlandish ERA the last couple. He's really, really struggled. This is not the team you want to be trying to turn it around with. So I would probably lean the Yankees -1.5, but I really think there's going to be a whole lot of hits in this game and a whole lot of runs. So give me over that.
Thank you for some great picks yesterday as well. Were you with me yesterday, brother?
Yep. Yeah, it was me and Rod, right?
There's only like 3 or 4 of us, right? What am I, but the days go by. But I just wanted to thank you because we did have a pretty much a monster day yesterday here on the show. I don't know how your day. Oh, I know how. Let me not bury the lead. Congratulations, sir, on an absolute monster day yesterday at Tony'sPicks.com.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a victory lap for a moment and tell me before I go to the next game what you got today in case anybody leaves us. I want to plug you here early.
I just have 1 pick so far up.
Okay.
On 1 premium pick right now up. But watch me throughout the day. I usually put 3-game packages out. I'm capping all day long. So when I find something, when I really dig in, and the more I dig in, sometimes on here too, and I think I actually had somebody Twitter me once because I had a pick on here, and then when I dug into it, I changed it. I went the other way. So, but that happens. That's why you got to come follow me at Tony's Picks, not just taking the free picks here because things can change. I can see something different that I didn't see in the morning and go, oh, no, I don't want to do that. So follow me.
Okay, your Yankees run line here in this one, brother, and I'm going to
over. My better play is over. I like the over.
Oh, your better play is over in this one. Okay, then let's do it. I'm with you in this one. That was going to be my play here. You got Gibson. You mentioned it. Pretty big ERA here, 6.68 in his last 6 starts, an 0-3 record. Also 2-7 against the Yankees with a ERA close to 6 right now. Warren, the 10 ERA in 4 starts. He's gone over in every single one of them. All right. Yep, a couple plays here from the crew. Here's another over as well. Let's see who had it. R. Tomps with the over. I think Fernando was leaning to the over. Hopefully we got everybody in here. Thanks for bearing with me a little bit. We'll get it down here once we get our crew. This is the way it's going to be. We're going to bring on more cappers from the website. So hope you enjoy. All right. Next up, I've skipped ahead here. If you want to talk about the Cubs and the Nationals, if you have a play on that, you can. But I've gone ahead and gone to the Padres and the Rays here. With Padres got back on track yesterday with a pretty big, with back to normal, if you will. Like I said, 2 losses the way this team was going, and the fans down here were already panicking, Stephen, but half joking. They know how good this team is right now. Vasquez 3.2. Oh, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Tampa. I had the Rays yesterday. They were 7-0 when playing San Diego at home, and now they're 7-1. So when I look at it, though, I mean, they weren't playing against a hot Padres team like this in most of those games. So I probably kind of overstepped that trend a little bit. In this one, though, I think I'm still going to go. I'm going to kick myself, but I think I'm still going to go back to Tampa Bay. I actually like this basket. I think he's pretty good.
Oh, I do too.
I think he's a good pitcher, and maybe I'll go first 5 though, because the Padres bats seem to heat up as the game goes on, so I think I'm going to go first 5 Tampa Bay on this one. It's not a premium or anything because this should be a really good game, period. But I'll lean that way. I'll take Tampa Bay first 5. Nothing on the total here because you just never know when the Padres could just blow it. So I'm going to just take Tampa Bay first 5.
Got Fernando here on the over in this one, but I'm going to go with the under here as my play on the show.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Well, I like that. I like Boz. It was 8, pretty much. Oh my gosh! Let me update it here a little bit. I'm showing right now. Bovada's moved to 8.5 under 20. I'll call it 8. Just I got to be at least a little bit fair. Maybe I'll call it 8 under 15. But this one is moving higher. If I wouldn't have, it's a hectic day. I don't even know if I'll have baseball premiums because of the football card, but going up to 8, seeing these 8.5, this one's going to be a pretty strong play for me. It feels like here with the under with Vasquez and Boz. And you're right. I don't know. I've been through all these Padre teams. I don't think I've seen any team as clutch as they are right now. This club. All right. Got a couple Steam plays. People were asking in the chat. Keep the updates coming with the FCS versus FBS games. I'll just roll a few here. They're taking Davidson here in one of those games here early on. Davidson's taking on Georgetown. That's an FCS game, but 6 has turned into 5. If you want to look at these as possible selections as well, since these are a little bit different when we're talking about those market movers in these games are really respected. You're not moving on injuries here or information. You're moving on bets. So that's what makes these so key. Illinois State and Iowa. Iowa, we know what it's like with Iowa, right? They're steaming the under here. 39 is what they went under. And man, it's already down to 37.5. You could still get 39 at DraftKings. So if I read these off, you might want to pounce on them. They're also taking over in that Davidson-Georgetown game, over 55.5. Let's keep it rolling in Major League Baseball with Stephen Duncan and go to, I've selected here the Red Sox, certainly, and the Tigers, and maybe these two a little bit marginal what's going on, but you got to feel like this is a pretty good matchup with Skubal at least pitching. You got Pivetta, you're still going to give him a little bit of respect at least out there right now, and you have the Tigers here about $1.50, and it's down maybe to about $1.40, maybe even $1.35. Total 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ride the school train just for the first 5 here. I think he's going to be up for this game. He's had a lot of time to, like, his arm's going to be. I should be pretty strong. It's hard to do that. It's hard to. It's the Red Sox have a tough lineup, but I think we'll be able to hold them down. And the Tigers actually have been hitting not too bad as of late. So Pavetta, yeah, like you said, it's kind of average, below average lately. So I think the Tigers will get them in the first 5, and they'll win the game. I might even go full game because Red Sox bullpen isn't fantastic, but I definitely like the first 5.
Yeah, you're right, and that's what puts me on the over. I'm going to take an over in this one.
Wow.
Yeah, with Pavetta in there a little bit. Look, Skubal, pretty great, no doubt about it. Awesome season here, no doubt. But we'll see once it gets into those later innings right now, and 7.5 maybe just looks a little bit too attractive to me to do. Umpire here, 17-8 to the over, was part of actually my handicap in this one, and the Pavetta, 5.66 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's gone over in 4 of his last 5. You talk about Skubal, and certainly the Tigers have been hitting. We know that, right? It's part of been their big resurgence here. They're 19-7 with Skubal on the mound. He's 3-0 in his last 4 starts, but he's also gone over in 6 of his last 7 starts. Tigers have been solid under. Yeah, wow. Yeah. No, that's been run support though.
Okay.
He's been well.
You got me. I think I'll tell you there too. That's a good fit.
Well, I will caution Tigers under in 8 of their last 9 at home, but I just think they're hitting too well right now, and don't necessarily disagree with you. I think the Red Sox could actually make a run. Let's see how far Skubal goes here. Look, Tigers, I probably think they're breathing here just a little bit still, I would think, but they still got their, those guys have their work. They're it's now or never for the Tigers. They need a 7-8 game winning streak just to try to get back in it though.
Yeah,
all right.
That trend at home is a Tigers team that wasn't hitting like they are right now. So yeah, I like that.
Back here. Got some plays here, I think, in this one. Appreciate everybody. I don't care if you're making plays on other games. That's just fine today, on a day like today. We've got some over support here as well with me. Okay, next up, I went to the Pirates and the Guardians, just because the Guardians are, pretty great here right now. They're obviously battling for the best record with the Yankees and the Orioles here at this point. Pirates are toast. We know that, but I didn't put the Guardians starter in there. I believe it's Boyd here. Steven, go ahead.
I just think that when the Guardians are too driven right now, and Pittsburgh I don't think they're going to have the bats or the will to win this. So I'm not taking a -158. I'll take them on the run line today. And I would probably lean a little bit to the over because Pittsburgh, they don't have the greatest lineup, but they actually have been hitting bad as of late. They should be able to get a couple on Boyd. So I'd lean to the over, but I do like Cleveland on the run line.
Yeah, I like Cleveland here, and I have 155 on the screen. I think you look at one of those on Saturday, you could say this is a thing or not, right? A lot of people put in just parlays in baseball with favorites. They're up to $1.65 or $1.70 here right now. I'd imagine that the Guardians could keep hitting here. Maybe the Pirates will get some here against Boyd too. I kind of agree with you. I'm going to go both. I'm going to go Pirates or Guardians and the over. Maybe I'll just keep it on the money line. Maybe I'll parlay them up together here today. Just small, going with college football and a lot, but we got to play these baseball games today and some of these hot matchups here. All right, next
they've got over these two teams 7 of the last 8 as well. So
in the series, okay, great. Yeah, I've got looks like some overs here possibly. There's Dre on Cleveland, Nate on the Guardians. Jermaine says it's too high. Nate, thank you. I don't know if we'll get to the WNBA. That might be our coverage right there, brother. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Next up, Stephen. Like I said, if I miss one in the chat or with Stephen, we can go back to it. But this is, I don't know, marquee matchup of the day here, I guess, with the Royals and the Astros. Kikuchi on the mound. I might have been typing too fast, skipping all these pitchers. Kikuchi against Ragans. This feels like the best matchup of the day.
Yeah, except Ragans has not been his best lately, and Kikuchi has been really pitching well ever since he became Oriole. I love him; he's like one of my favorite pitchers. It was painful to watch him struggle in Toronto when you didn't know if he was going to be traded or not, and I knew he'd bounce back, and he has bounced back. For that reason, I like Houston here. I'm probably going to go first 5 money line and full game.
I am with you, sir. Houston is my play today. In fact, we might be getting $1.35 here at some of the sharp books here at this point. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty decent price. Look, Kansas City's been awesome, and to be fair, we've been on them a little bit, certainly even on the road. And there's no doubt, even if they've had a little bit of a hiccup here with a 3-game losing streak right now, nobody's, I'm not tossing the Royals aside necessarily like everybody else seems to be here. Remember when they got hot 10 years ago or whatever it was now? I think that's what happens with some of these small market teams. Just get in. That's all you got to do. Got one steam play I'm going to report. This might be my coverage of the CFL today, Stephen. Let me see. I'm going to make this is today's game, actually. I didn't even have a preview set, but I did see a move come along. Yeah, it is on today's game. I don't know if you've been following your league up there, but the under in today's game between Ottawa and British Columbia, getting steamed to the under here, was 51, now down to 48.5 at Bovada here today. Have you lost focus with the CFL at all?
I just can't get into the CFL, and everybody makes fun of me for it, being Canadian and all that, but I've tried. I like going to the games. I like going to see them. They do. It's fun to go live for sure. But honestly, I just can't get my brain power to pay attention to it when I got so many other sports to take care
of. No
problem.
So we'll keep it moving then for you, sir, with my next matchup. Your Blue Jays taking on the Twins here. Got to include the Twins here at this point with Matthews, $1.55 here in this one. Yeah, Blue Jays, we're done. We're playing out the string, but Berrios has taken some attention here lately from everybody. He's been one of the best pitchers around here over the last month or so.
He's a weird pitcher, man. Well, he had like an absolutely horrible July. And then, I thought he was dead in the water. I was betting against him all July, which worked out well. And now he's gone the exact opposite. And I think it was June he pitched. It's like he flips 1 month to the next. And I don't really understand why. But for that in mind, though, this is an 8.5. I really have this is not going to be a play for me, but I'm going to try to piece something together. I would think maybe under. I don't like the Twins at -155. I don't. But the only thing that has me kind of hesitant about the under is the Blue Jays bats have been really going well lately. But Matthews is a pretty good pitcher, and the Twins are a very good defensive team. So I would lean the under in this. That would be my play.
And I'll take the spoiler alert here. I'll go with the Blue Jays here with Berrios. And look, I'm really impressed right now. 4-0 in his last 4 starts, 2.2 ERA. Blue Jays 8-3 with Berrios in the last 11 games. Your Blue Jays, they've won 8 of their last 12. Twins, they've lost 8 of their last 11 games right now. And Matthews comes in here just making his 4th start. 4.80 ERA. So give me the Blue Jays here in this one. Steven says take the under.
All right. I won't take that because I whenever I take the Jays, they lose. So for your sake, I'm not taking them. So I don't usually. I don't know what it is. Every time I take the Jays, almost they lose.
I want to say Hello and welcome to Irish King. Thank you for being here, Irish King. You're awesome, man. You give great information, and no problem. We have no problem with you, and I'm so glad you're back here in the chat today. We just want to respect all of our cappers, and I know you do too. We always have a lot of fun, and hey, we all talk a little garbage here and there. No doubt about it. So no problem, brother. No problem. I just didn't want anybody to see the comments and think that we let people, whoever they are, kind of just not get away with. That's a terrible thing to say, but we just want to respect all of our peers. That's, I guess, the way to say it. All right. Thank you, Irish King, for being here today. All right. Stephen, this one was marginal, but I think I've got to still include the New York Mets here. Moving along, maybe they are the most borderline team that I thought about leaving them off because they're playing the White Sox too. But the Mets, they are over 500. They're still fighting. They're out of the playoff. They need a winning streak as well to try to get right back into it. But it's slowly fading for the Mets. It already has like 2 times this week. The light has been turned off. I'm gonna turn it back on here for another day, but the Mets better start a winning streak.
Yeah, and I said yesterday that maybe the White Sox have a chance. I don't think they have a chance today. But minus 122 on the run line is a little bit.
Yeah, they took the steam after the White Sox did, so I'll update it. It's 180 or so. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I had the under yesterday. And I think I'll go back to it again today. Quintana is okay against this lineup. He's pretty much he's pretty much an ace against this lineup. Just about anybody is. So I don't think Chicago's going to hit very much. Martin's not bad. So I think the Mets will have to what's the total on this again? It's 9. Yeah, the Mets is going to have to blow them out. The Mets will have to blow them out. I don't see that happening. I think their bats will be a little tight because, like you said, they need every win right now. So even though it's and usually bats get tight. Then they don't loosen up. The nerves come in and they just slightly miss what they would normally hit. So I like the under. Actually, I really like the under at 9.
I like it too. I will take the White Sox. I'll take them on the run line here. Look, Quintana's been bad. I see what you see here. White Sox aren't scoring anything. Look at this. Martin, you talk about all these White Sox pitchers. Who are these guys, right? Martin, 5 starts, 2.38 ERA. They're 0-5 with Martin. They've scored 10 runs in those 5 starts. So, I mean, look, if I were another team, I'd be looking to try to deal with the White Sox a little bit, try to take some of these young pitchers off their hands. They better not give them up. They've lost 8 straight again. We're in a big-time losing streak, but I just have a feeling the Mets, they might be looking at those standings every time they flash them on the board right now. They've won 10 of their last 16, but Quintana's lost 5 straight starts. 6.33 ERA in those starts. The former White Sox, I mean, he was with them for 5 or 6 years. So I'm going to take this will be the day on Saturday, of course, when no one's looking. I'll take the White Sox. Hopefully, if they get blown out, I'll get lost in all the shuffle with all the games. But this is where I want to kind of take them. I think it feels like Darren says they'll lay it with the Mets, of course. Trey on the under. Good morning to Shannon here today. Thank you, Art Thompson. Good to have you agree. Here's under for our Thomas. Thomas said the under. And let's see what else we got. I think that's it from the chat here in this one. All right. Good one. A big one here. And why do I keep forgetting the pitchers here for the Phillies today? It's going to be Wheeler, and he's about $1.50 here, Stephen, and the total I've listed here is 8 flat.
Fried is just struggling. Until I see him be the old Fried, I'm probably betting against him right now. So, and Wheeler, he can deal against the Braves here. So I'm just gonna go Philly money line for me. Minus 152 though. But
What did you see it at? 152?
that's not good. I got minus 152 for that.
Yeah, I see it even a little bit higher, right? Right now, 154, 161. So
certainly won't be a premium. I don't even know if I'll bet it, to tell you the honest truth.
okay, I'll take it with you though and see what the chat does. Maybe we can get consensus with it. Like I said, Saturdays, a lot of people just make a baseball parlay. They want to keep their eye on it. I'm not saying that, good or bad. I'm not here to talk down about parlays. I'm not that guy. If you want to play parlays, go for it. I'm loving it. I'll put one or two in on a day, especially after a day like yesterday. We're going for the expensive pizza today for the big game, Stephen, after a day like yesterday. So Fried, you mentioned it, 5.24 ERA last 4 starts. He has gone under in 8 of his last 11, but so far this year against Philly, 6.59 ERA in 3 starts for Fried. Wheeler, Phillies are 6-3 with Wheeler in his last 9 starts. 2 starts against Atlanta for Wheeler, 1.50 ERA. So Phillies have won 10 of their last 16. Let's take them. Let's take them and lay it with the Phillies today. Put them in our baseball, football day parlay. And nothing really against the chat from the chat. Fernando likes the over at he says 7.5. Let me take a peek here. Little steam coming in on Washington State in college football right now. Minus 26 is going up to 27. Washington State today. Just want to mention that, but just peeking here to see. Yeah, you're right, Fernando. I see mostly 7.5s out there right now in this one. It is juiced to the over, but I think it'd be fair to update it on the screen here in that one. Western Illinois and Northern Illinois, one of those FCS games, is getting steamed to the over right now. Western Illinois, Northern Illinois, steamed to the over. 54 is turning into 55, 55.5. If you like it, you might take a look. Or like I said, in these FCS games, it's a big clue, actually, in some of these. Okay, Stephen, here we go. Whipping through these. Brewers at the we nailed them. I mean, not hard, but we said sweep with the Brewers, I think, yesterday on the show. And here they are against the Reds again with former Red Frankie Montas.
Yeah, I'm taking Brewers. They just own the Reds, and the Reds suck right now. And even with Montas on it, he hasn't been bad since he's gone, and now he's playing against his old team. So just give me the Brewers. It's not a bad price either at minus 117. So, yeah, Brewers for me.
And for me, we'll do it. Let's give the chat a minute here. It feels like we don't have many consensus today with everyone thinking about all the different sports, I think is what we're dealing with. But Brewers, 12-4, their last 16. Reds have lost 10 of their last 15. This is a bullpen game with Fernando Cruz, as we saw previously with him. Yeah, Montas.
The Reds have a crappy bullpen, so.
Reds are Brewers are 2-1, 4-1 in Montas's 5 starts, and they are in a groove right now. They can't wait for the postseason to get. I think they kind of wish it would get here and get rolling with the postseason a little bit for Milwaukee at this point. 23 games over 500, looking good. How about it in the chat? Can we get a play here from anybody? Fernando, of course, on his Brewers. I felt like this would be one. Maybe we can get one out of this. We only have one consensus play here at this point. And there it is. Now we have 2. Thank you, guys. Jermaine's going to lay the double run line here. What do we call it now?
There's
Help me out.
Extendo.
Thank you. Extendo. We got an extendo with Jovan. All right, here's another steam play off of the added board here. Stony Brook and Marshall under 53.5 in an FCS versus FBS matchup with MAC team Marshall here. Under 53.5. The steam moving right now in another game. So just jot these down, fam. A lot of games out there. Extendo. All right, here with a big one. What a game last night. Dodgers and Diamondbacks ended up 10-9. We actually lost one, I think, there yesterday with the
I had the
consensus.
D-box. I was like,
Yeah.
I was
No one
watching
can
it
hear
on
it.
the ninth, and I was just like, come on, one more. No.
Yeah, and bad news for Kershaw, bone spur.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he comes back, and now he's back hurt again. I mean, oh, jeez, it's terrible. But I think they bounce back here. I got. If you give me these two teams, I'm going to keep on taking whoever is got the plus money. Good pitching matchup, though. I don't think you're going to see as high scoring game as you did yesterday for sure. But I'll take the D-backs to bounce back for plus 112. I guess it is.
All right, Stephen.
Kelly's a good pitcher.
Yeah, he is. He's struggled of late, but he got run support in those games, and sometimes Kelly and pardon me, brother. Kelly can't. Pardon me, Stephen. There we go. Kelly can kind of pitch around. You know, they got 26 runs in his last 3 games, and he went 2-0. So sometimes you get a little complacent. Now, here's the thing. Merrill Kelly against the Dodgers. I don't know if anybody in the chat, I haven't looked at the comment chat. Merrill Kelly's 0-11 in his career. That's not in the games he's pitched against the Dodgers. He is 0-11 in 16 career starts against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh, boy. I didn't know that. Didn't see that trend.
Yeah, 5.49 ERA. But Arizona, they won 17 of their last 24. We know Dodgers have been just as hot. Stone's been good. Last 3 starts, 0.95 ERA and a 2-0 record. Dodgers 16-8 with Stone. Does have 2 starts against Arizona this year, an 8 ERA in those 2 starts. So for me, let me see. I think I have the total actually in this
Looking
one.
at the over, are you?
See here, I got it in my notes actually. Maybe I'm pivoting because maybe we're on the district after that little stat rant there. It feels like for me, brother, in this one. But what is the total here? Actually?
Over 9. It's a 9. I got
it is
9.
at 9. Yeah. Okay. I am going to take the over in this one.
Yeah, I was considering that. It's just with that with all the bats hitting yesterday. Well,
that was it. 19 runs.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 10-9. Dodgers ended up with the win. Okay, there it is. Rays with me on the over there, and Dre with you on Arizona. And let's see here. All right, getting a little out of control there again. Might be. All right, let's just keep it moving here, gang. Let's got a sports betting show right here. That's what we're talking about, sports and sports betting, and that's what you should be talking about in the chat. Okay, here we go. Last one, Stephen, that I've looked at. If you got another one, let me know. But I did select the Orioles. Obviously, they're in a big situation here. No matter how bad the Rockies are, they need to win, and they're favored here on the road with Dean Kramer.
Yeah, I've been playing. The Rockies have kind of hurt me. They haven't been winning at home all of a sudden. The thing is, Kramer has never pitched at Coors Field. But Faulkner is just ass. I mean, is this like an 11 or something? What's the total on here?
Yeah, right now the total has moved here, shaded to the under, but 11.5 for the most part.
11.5. That's a lot. That's a lot. If I were, I don't know if I'm going to bet this game. I don't think I am. I agree. The Orioles need it. So in that way, like they need it. They need it more than the Rockies do. Like for that reason, I guess I would lean the Orioles. I'm just not a big Kramer fan, especially if he has never pitched at Coors Field before. I would still go the over, but I'm probably not betting this game at all.
We had the under. I had the under here on the show yesterday, but I'm not confident in it today. But I'm going to have to try the Orioles here. $1.65. Kramer, 2.5 ERA last 3 starts. Hasn't got a lot of run support, but he is over in 14 of his 19 starts. But man, the Orioles are just, they can't find a winning streak here. They just kind of win one, lose one, win two, lose one, win one, lose two right now. It just feels like they can't find that momentum necessarily to, with this battle with the Yankees coming down here. Feltner, Colorado just 2-7 with him on the mound, but 3.5 ERA last 4 starts. So give me the Orioles. We'll take them together. And let's see if the chat has anything, because we only had 2 plays here, actually, it feels like.
The Orioles is the reason why they can't win in the playoffs. Whenever things get tight, whenever they need to be competitive, they just can't do it. And that's why I'm afraid to take the Orioles here, because it's an important game, and they don't win important games on a regular basis. So I don't know. It's a tough one for me.
Well, they need the win. Certainly. All right, Stephen, I left off 4 games. I'll just tell you what they were, and maybe if you have a Cubs and Washington with Assad and Hertz, Oakland and Texas. Man, we saw Oakland bashing it again yesterday. Estes and
I got Oakland again today, too. Oakland again today, plus 140.
Oakland here, plus money today, going up against Bradford. A lefty, certainly, so maybe that's a little bit of the noise there in that one. And also the last 2, Miami and the Giants, they're done, Cabrera and Black. And also Seattle, they are alive. Maybe they probably are worthy of talking about, but their percentage has really dipped down here. I think they're probably under 20% to qualify for the postseason. They got Wu going as a favorite, $1.55 against Anderson. So anything on those? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up, I think, here.
I take Wu minus 0.5, first 5. That's it there. Marlins, Giants, I don't care about that game.
All right.
So, yeah. But I would take Wu to shut down LA and Mariners to at least get a run or 2.
Appreciate your contributions, and go ahead if you want to refresh and tell us what is going on. You said you got 1 play, but I imagine today you'll probably go with some.
I threw another one in, actually. So I got 2 plays right now. I haven't got a best bet yet. I haven't figured out what it's going to be, but I always have at least a 3-game package out there. So it's only cost you like $25 or something like that. I'm not hitting them like crazy right now. So it's a good. You can use it as a parlay if you want, or you can. I suggest you take them individually, but I'll have a 3-game package up there. I'll probably have a little WNBA. I did well at WNBA yesterday. Actually, last 7, I think, I'm top of the board on WNBA. And of course, my $250 hockey package. You can get the full season for $250. Still up there right now, so get over it. You're not going to get it for better than that. And hockey is my game. So that's my main game. I'm good at pretty much most sports, but hockey is my main game. We're going to make a lot of money. So you should get in there for $250, make some scratch, have some fun. And I'll be on here doing hockey almost every day. So you'll be able to get my picks that way as well. And thanks for your support, everybody that's bought packages and all of that for anybody on the site. It's why we're here. It allows us to be here and give you this fine program.
I have your winning plays from yesterday on your Monster Day, so I just want everybody to see kind of how it works here at Tony'sPicks.com. You can go back and check out all of our previous premium pick plays. We can't, put one over on you because they have subscribers and, they know what our cappers are picking. You just can't go back and, say we won these. So Steven yesterday with the Giants run line, the Aces game to go under, he had the dream and he got a good number. We know for the most part, the Aces got all the numbers, but well, quite frankly, that's what a handicapper does, tries to get you on the best line. Also, yeah, the Diamondbacks, that one sucked, but look at these. That sucked up, not your pick, but the game, because I was on it too. But Mariners run line, Mariners first 5, under in that Colorado game yesterday with me. You had the Rockies as well, but no problem, because look at all these other winners. They're Mets first 5 and the under as well. So great day yesterday, sir. Good luck again today, Stephen. with your picks because you're coming off a big day. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm gonna stick around and just read off some steam, but I'll let you. I'll leave you a baseball one. I'm gonna read off a bunch of college plays for everybody. Take a few more minutes. Seattle and the Angels. Stephen talked about Woo. There maybe is a pick on the road. The total is getting steamed here, though. Right now, 8s are going to look like turn into 8 unders here. They may even go to 7.5 in this one with Seattle and the Angels tonight. That steam is coming in right now as we speak. All right, Stephen.
I was going to say I like the under in that game too. Actually, I forgot to mention.
Get it now. Get on it now, everybody. Stephen likes the under, and like I said, that one is moving as we speak. Okay. Thank you, my friend. We'll catch you tomorrow. I'll be here. If I'm not, call the authorities.
Yeah, I'll be here. I should be here tomorrow. I should, unless something happens that I'm not aware of. But I should be here tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the games.
Stephen Duncan joining us here on the Morning Steam. All right, we're done with the show pretty much, but we did have some requests for some FCS. I'll just read off the steam that's kind of come in. These are, those games are a little bit tough. I mean, I've got handy. I don't want to go through them all, but these are important because these are really more market moves. These are just people with expert opinions that move this game. You're not getting a ton of money. You're just getting large limit bets on this. There's not bigger limits than the big games. So the line moves are more significant in these. So just keep an eye on what they are, what I say they are. And then when you go to look at the line, you can weigh it at that point. That's it if you want to play these games and maybe give you an insight into some of these teams, especially in the FCS category. All right, here we go. Bucknell and Navy. This one has been moving to the over. It got steamed about 5 minutes ago as we're signing off with Stephen. Bucknell and Navy, the total over 49 right now, and it's going higher as we speak in that one, Bucknell and Navy. Also, North Texas is getting steamed at plus 5.5. Just going to read off to you the teams here. Not going to go too heavy on the matchups. Southern Illinois and BYU Southern Illinois and BYU over 49.5 now. It's ticking up higher. These are getting a little more stale here, I think, as I get going here. So Southern Illinois and BYU over 49.5. Texas A&M Commerce against my San Diego State Aztecs. They're going under 58. The Aztecs have Sean Lewis as their head coach. This gives me one chance here to talk about San Diego State today with their hot schedule, obviously. Texas A&M Commerce. At least my man Luis Perez went there. But the Aztecs, they're completely different now. They're trying a new thing here, but they got Sean Lewis away from Colorado. It didn't work out for Coach Lewis. Maybe it was amicable. Remember, he left in the middle of the season kind of. Maybe, I talked about how Dion, maybe if you're Team Dion, hey, it's all about Team Dion. If you're not, maybe you can just take it elsewhere. Well, Sean Lewis has ended up in San Diego as head coach of the Aztecs, and they're calling the Aztecs offense Aztec Fast. And they're starting a freshman quarterback. They're not looking that great, really, in the big picture of things. But this is a whole new philosophy. I'm kind of surprised the Sharps are taking the under here. The Aztecs promise that they're going to show you something that, I don't know, maybe it'll be reminiscent of Don Coryell in the 1960s, the way they're talking about it out here with that Aztec Fast. Look, we know Sean Lewis has been a successful offensive coach, right? Especially with, his track record from Kent State and then what he did with Colorado. So, and a little bit before that too. So I don't know. They moved on the under. Good for them. We'll see. I might heat it, but I also think the Aztecs philosophy here, they might give up points to Texas A&M Commerce. I don't think they're very good, quite frankly, but that's my team, so I want to see what they have. I think this is the right direction. I didn't like them. If you couldn't get, they kind of retreaded Brady Hoke in there and things like that. I'd rather go this direction with one of these hot names if you're a program like San Diego State. So I think that's fine for where they're at their level right now. They're almost starting kind of from scratch here for a little bit. Remember, they got a new stadium the last couple of years. So, all right, Portland State, Washington State under 57.5 has taken the steam here. Portland State, Washington State under 57.5. Cincinnati minus 31 has taken steam here today. Cincinnati Bearcats in their game against Towson. I think it's up to 32.5 here at this point. Let me see if I can get a couple more out to you. Washington State minus 26.5. We might have mentioned that one already. Merrimack and Air Force under 48 took some steam this morning. Merrimack and Air Force. Illinois State plus 23.5 has taken some steam here in this one this morning. Illinois State. And that might do it for our play. Oklahoma State. Oh, that's a decent matchup of FCS game, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if we can't track that one down a little bit. They're playing number one. I'll say it, number one, South Dakota State. So Oklahoma State took the steam at 10. They're up to 13. They're playing the number one FCS team in the country at South Dakota State. We saw the game with Colorado, right? Right now, you're looking at those two teams. You're looking at them, and you're looking at South Dakota State. They're kind of 1-2 in FCS, and everybody else is. I think Montana was the only one that got a first place vote. Montana State got a first place vote. They went on the road, remember, and made that comeback win. But after that, you're looking at NDSU and SDSU, and not my SDSU, South Dakota State. But they took Oklahoma State minus 13 against one of the best teams in the country, and we saw. I don't know if you want to make the comparison there. A lot of people will compare South Dakota State and North Dakota State, not just because of, probably because of they're the best teams in FCS going on the road to take on a Big 12 action here. So I don't know. You can take it for what it's worth. Let me give you this steam action here. Purdue minus 34.5 here. There's a lot of games. I'm just going to read these off, and then we'll get out of here. And appreciate you guys joining me here on the morning steam. Towson and Cincinnati over 54.5. Indiana State and Purdue under 50. Louisville minus 38. And I think that might be it. That is it for the morning steam. All right. Join me tomorrow here, 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific. We'll be back with more Major League Baseball. Yeah, we got a couple college football games to look at tomorrow as well, and we'll try to drum up some WNBA here. Maybe, let me see here. I did preview the WNBA on my video last night. Let me just talk about it here real quick. Connecticut and Washington goes off at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Connecticut's won 8 straight meetings in the series right now, but Washington's playing about as well as they have all season. Connecticut did win all 3 games, but the last one did go overtime, 94-91 back on June 27th. Connecticut did not cover. They were favored by 11 in that one. Washington beat Chicago on Wednesday, 74-70. Connecticut 1-4 against the spread their last 5. Washington 16-5 against the spread their last 21. And they can see the Chicago Sky in their sights right now. They're just 2.5 back with 9 games to play. Sky not looking good. Washington on fire. Well, they could use an upset here. The series is all about the over. I gave out the under on my video. And you know what? I got to take the Washington Mystics to keep it going here, plus the points here tonight. I'll make that a morning steam play. Washington Mystics against Connecticut in WNBA starts at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific time. All right. A few more comments. I'll get out of here. Thank you to everybody here for joining me on the morning steam. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.